Canada trade mission to China produced a bumper crop of contracts and contacts for participating companies. Joining us now with a close look at the trade mission is Team Canada Trade team member Tim Margeson of CBL Data Recovery. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning.
So have you recovered from jet lag? You just got back?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the contracts that were signed while you were there. We heard about the Bombardier one and one for Nortel. Those are big contracts.
They were in the billions of dollars. Beijing is putting in a new subway system, and Bombardier is going to be building their trains.
How was Canada received in China?
Canada was received very, very well. The Chinese government made sure that everything was in place for us, and we were just bussed from one area to another.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So other than the Nortel and Bombardier contracts, what else was accomplished while you were there?
I think there's 450, close to 500 Canadian businesses that went down, and everybody had the opportunity to make new contacts and grow their businesses in China.
Mm-hmm. Were other contracts actually signed there, or was this a building for the future contracts?
There was many more contracts signed that didn't get a lot of press coverage. I think there's about $5.7 billion worth of contracts in total that were signed by something about 180 different companies. Mm-hmm. The rest of the businesses there, they're on their way.
Is China a good country to pursue for future contracts?
Definitely. It has the most growth potential out of any country in the world. Mm-hmm. They have 1.3 billion people, and there's a huge, huge market.
Are there other countries, would you say we're pursuing trade with them and business with them extensively? How would you rate us compared to other countries trying to do business with China?
I think Canada's in the forefront of doing trade in China. We've been actively pursuing that market since about '79, since the Cultural Revolution, and it's been a growth market.
Did you spend any time with our Prime Minister while you were there?
I got the chance to meet the Prime Minister twice, but he has other things to do.
And how was he handling relations with the Chinese?
Very well. We didn't get to see all the press coverage because we were within the Team Canada, but from what we heard, everything went very well.
Why is it important to pursue business with China?
It's important. With the 1.3 billion people, and they're just starting out and coming into the Western market, every product that we have here, they don't. Or they're just starting to get into it. For instance, computers are just becoming a new issue in China, and there's that whole market that needs to be put in place, everything from the actual selling of computers to the infrastructure for internet.
Interesting. Now, what was your role there?
Well, I was representing my company, CBL Data Recovery. We already have an office in Beijing, so we're there to promote the growth of that office and to increase our market there as well. Is
China a difficult country to deal with on a business level?
Well, the key to getting into the Chinese marketplace is to gain acceptance by the Chinese government. That's the first step. If you can deal with the government, then you can move into the corporate sector. That's what we've done, and it's worked out very well for us.
Okay, let's turn now to the Olympic bid.
Yeah.
You were there while Beijing was preparing.
Yes.
We saw pictures here of people actually spray painting the grass green.
That they were.
How does Beijing look for this bid, and what do you see them doing that Toronto isn't right now?
Well, Beijing is actively preparing. They had IOC come in this week, so they were cleaning up the city. They've also launched some new pollution laws. They want to cut down on the amount of smog that's in the city, because right now it is an issue. They do have the facilities available and the manpower available to build a whole Olympic park in just a short time. They've already sectioned off part of the city for that purpose.
Is there a lot of excitement? Did you hear much about the Olympic bid in Beijing?
Well, they have signs everywhere, and the way that they read is that they've already been accepted. So
really?
They're very confident.
They're very confident. So how would you compare Beijing, you're in a unique position, you were there, to what you're seeing here in Toronto and what we're doing as a city? Well,
in Toronto, I think there's a community of people that are hesitant about the Olympics coming. They don't want the influx of people and all the construction to occur. It's just going to be a big burden for us. In Beijing, they're welcoming it with open arms.
Really? Yeah. All the citizens, you've seen a real difference?
It provides them with employment and a sense of community that they can shoot for.
So do you think Toronto needs to try a little harder?
I think we do.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, there is in Toronto, as I said, there's a community of people that do not want the Olympics here, and that has to change in order for Toronto to become a viable alternative for the Olympics.
Is China looking at the Olympic bid as a business venture that would make them a lot of money?
Yeah, definitely. As I said, there's an employment opportunity for thousands of people. And with Beijing itself having 13 million people in the city, there can be a lot of people at work.
Who do you think is going to get it, Tim?
Well, I think Beijing's going to get it, but I'm rooting for Toronto.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming down. Any future trips planned to China?
Definitely. As I said, we already have our office in Beijing, and we're looking at Hong Kong right now. Going to Hong Kong, we're going to speed up the opening of our office there by about 1 year, definitely.
What do you think, one last question, what do you think it means to Canada's business chances when the Prime Minister goes down with a huge entourage?
It increases everybody's business potential dramatically. The Chinese are a very government-oriented community, and to have the Canadian government come down with businesses means that we have the backing of our federal government, and that shows well to the Chinese.
Not to mention our premiers. We know Harris was there. They were all there.
Everybody was there.
Yeah.
So it was very successful in that regard.
Do you think that we were well organized and presented ourselves well as a country?
Very well. Very well.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, thank you.
We are going to take a short break now, but from Bay Street to Main Street, we have the business news you need when you need it. You're watching Money Morning on City TV and Cable Pulse 24. We'll be right back.